I'm Reece at your leisure in a world capital you've probably never even heard of, let alone considered coming to. But for a great cultural experience, astounding architecture, a tumultuous history that dates back hundreds of years, but an easy, laid-back vibe, give Vilnius a try. Well, the Pope is. Pope Francis just happened to follow us to Vilnius. Here in the city's main cathedral, he will worship with thousands of Roman Catholic faithful. Merchants spruce things up for the visit. Vilnius is the capital of Lithuania, one of the 3 Baltic nations in Eastern Europe, but maybe not number 1 on your bucket list.
We had heard of Vilnius and we did know where it was, but it was our good friends Marianne and Reece that made us come here.
Our friends Anne and Mike Taylor flew in from England to help celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary.
Vilnius is a surprising city in that it is architecturally brilliant. It was one of those cities that before I came, I wasn't quite sure what to expect.
Vilnius's restored center dates from the Middle Ages, anchored by the Basilica with the monument to Gediminas, founder of the city in the 14th century. Pilia Street runs up the heart of Old Town. This cobblestone pedestrian mall is the main tourist draw, with lots of sidewalk cafes, all kinds of fun shops, and lots of history. At number 26 in 1918, the Lithuanian Council signed the Act of Independence from Russia. The current Lithuanian White House dates from the 14th century. At the other end of Pilia Street, the Gates of Dawn, only remaining of 10 ancient portals to the city. Above the opening, a tiny chapel with a 17th century portrait of the Virgin Mary clad in gold leaf, an iconic symbol of Vilnius. In the beautiful city park, we quizzed a couple of locals on their favorite things about Vilnius.
Maybe architecture. It's nice and it's quite old, so...
Hard to argue with that.
Vilnius is a beautiful city. It has vibrancy, it's got stunning architecture, the people are beautiful, very friendly.
Founded in 1579, Vilnius University is one of the oldest in Northern Europe. In its main square on Pilia Street, we ambushed third-year psych student Crispin Loftus for a brief Q&A. Crispin tells us university tuition is free in the Baltics, if you keep your grades up. And a must-stop is the tiny campus bookstore with its low vaulted ceiling, painted with frescoes of professors and students. The red brick Church of St. Anne, dating from 1500, is a classic example of the city's early Gothic architecture. And as magnificent as it is on the outside, the Baroque Church of St. Peter and Paul is equally stunning inside, with its unique crystal and bronze chandelier in the shape of a ship, and 2,000 stucco figures lining the chapel. You immediately know the occupation of the residents of these homes, who decorate exterior walls with examples of their trade. This is apparently home of the tattoo artist. Across the Vilna River is, as you can see by the sign, the self-proclaimed Republic of Ushupio, a bohemian-style neighborhood complete with its own constitution in 23 languages, inscribed in steel plates on a city wall, and containing a bill of 41 rights, including number 12, a dog has the right to be a dog. Ushupio celebrates its independence, appropriately enough, on April 1st.
The little community that went off into their own, I just think it's got a very homely and warm feeling to it, and I quite like that feeling.
Vilnius suffered the horrors of the Holocaust and 45 years of Soviet oppression. We met Irene, whose father was murdered by the Soviets, and she, her mother, and brother were among 130,000 Lithuanians loaded into rail cars like this and shipped off to Siberian labor camps.
And how old is she?
92.
How long did she live in Siberia?
Kiek metų išgyvenot Sibire?
Susumavus viską, tai 17.
17 years she spent in Siberia.
Since independence in 1990, Lithuania has evolved into a modern member of the European Union, but shows off its medieval roots to an ever-increasing number of tourists who play a big role in its economic revival.
Well, there's a beautiful river, beautiful buildings, the churches, the people, very friendly, vibrant. Really, really recommend it as a destination to come.
Reece at your leisure along the way in Vilnius, Lithuania.
We are very glad that we've been to Vilnius, and it's made us think more about Eastern European cities, towns that we would like to go and visit again now.